Hi, I'm Pablo and I'll be going over how to set up the project, run, debug, and how to deploy the project. So the first thing you want to do is clone the repository. Then you want to make sure that you have MySQL installed and you need to have the user and password set as root. Then on the command line, you want to enter here the commands and then enter the password root when it asks you. You want to create the schema VIR and then exit, and then here you will be loading all the data. So this one right here, if you have a different root for the project, just that'll just change. Okay, so the next thing is installing dependency. So if you run this command here on Nix and here on Windows, that will install everything for the front end and for the back end. And then once it finishes, need that. And and also make sure this, if you're on a non-Windows, make sure that you set the permissions and make sure that you're not running this under root privilege or on Windows. I'm talking about this administrative. Just make sure you're like on a regular account, because if not, it causes some problems. We're using Visual Studio Code, so make sure you don't have to do this, but this will make your life easier if you download this extension right here, Task Runner. I already have it installed. But here on the Task Runner, you have all these, everything that we just went over. So if you want to install all of the dependencies, you click that one. To clean the project, you want to run the project, debug the project, everything's here. So you can go over that yourself. We'll just go over how to build and debug the project. But while that's running, so here's the reading from the back end. So one thing you need to set up is this app encryption environment variable that you can get from either from the product owner. And then the same thing with this. You need to set this up and this one too, actually. But these two right here aren't really necessary unless you're debugging sending the emails, for the password reset or whenever there are exceptions in the Tesseract, the OCR. But if you're running the integration test, you can set these up and you can just set it to 0, or you can just set it to 1 if you just want to make sure it's running from your system. But make sure you set it back to 0, because there is a limit on it. You could only send 100 emails per day. When you run it'll tell you some instructions. If something goes wrong, it'll tell you, put this flag, and it'll give you more details. And once you do that, it'll tell you it failed here. But one thing you need to know, because when you do the test, when you on the front end, you can't do it on some versions of Windows. So when you come to this one, ng test, so it doesn't work. Actually, on Windows 7 and Windows 8 I tested. On Windows 10 it works fine. Before you prepare the project deployment, this one you want to run this one, project integration test. So you run this one, make sure everything tells you okay, and then run this one, the project integration test, make sure everything's okay, and then once those two are good, then you can do this one, prepare the project deployment. That one will generate for you, release, yeah. So here, and this one, when you get it generated, you will upload it to Amazon. So here, let me show you that really quick. So once you're here, you'll upload it here. Alright, so the project has finished running. See, it's ready. See, when you see the started view application, and it'll tell you here, see, and it tells you it's already on port 8080. Okay, so now that it's running, we can hear this one right here, attached to backend. Click here, get. Get user. Okay, so here. Okay, so let's say we go here. And there. You can see here. Actually, you can see here, yeah. Okay, so to debug on the back end, you have to go here on the configuration and you go here. I'm not going to show it because it has some sensitive information, but you go in there. I already have this set up, but you don't want to keep this on all the time. So just make sure you do something like add a add like a dash or something and then save it like that. So this is how I have it set up right now. So then you go here to this. This is part of the project too. Don't worry, you don't have to set up anything. So here you attach. See, and now we're attached. Here, let's go to. It takes some time. See there, you see, and but the one thing that you have to make sure that when you're debugging, you're using the same version. So if you publish, make sure you're not back on your branch and you're editing it, because then it might be it'll debug, but it might not be showing you the correct line. So I guess the important thing is when you publish, make sure everything's merged together and everything's in master, and everything and anything that's deployed should be in master, and then if you make any changes, it should not be on master. So then if you need to debug on production to do any hot fixes or whatever, stash your stuff or whatever, push it on your branch, and then go to master and do all the debugging there. Just make sure when you deploy, uh, keep an eye on this, because it will go from okay because it restarts the application. So sometimes it will go to severe or warning. Just wait until it tells you okay, then it's good, and then you can go into the site and check it out. So that's it. All right, thanks.